अ, हेलो गाइस। आज हमारे साथ आरबीआई ग्रेड बी पैनल ईयर 2023 के एक और सिलेक्टेड कैंडिडेट कृष्णा हैं। और आज हम कोशिश करेंगे उनकी स्ट्रेटजी जानने की। ऑल इन ऑल, हाउ ही हैज़ प्रिपेयर्ड फॉर दिस एग्जाम। इट वाज हिज फोर्थ अटेम्प्ट, आई थिंक, and
Yes, sir.
what has changed over the years. And all in all, we would like to know about his strategy, and how did he, what all sources he followed for what all subjects, and all those things we'll be discussing in this session today. So, welcome, Krishna. First of all, congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, and sir, congrats to you too for AIR1.
Thank you. So, first of all, I would request you to tell us about yourself, the introduction, and your education background.
Uh, uh, Actually, sir, I belong to a town called Washim in Maharashtra. So I've done my major part of schooling from Washim only. It's a district in Maharashtra. After my schooling, I done my mechanical engineering from Sri Sant Gajanan Maharaj College of Engineering. It is located in Shegaon, which is again in Maharashtra. So after my engineering, I began preparing for various competitive exams. So this is the basic info about me.
Okay. So, how long have you been preparing for RBI?
So specifically speaking, I began for RBI preparation very seriously from the year 2021 uh, because actually after my graduation in 2018, I was basically a defense aspirant. So I was preparing for various defense exams like CDAC and ASCAT. I cleared those exams many times. I appeared for SSB interviews 8 times, but I could not clear it. So once I got age barred from that defense exams, so I began to prepare seriously for RBI exam. However, meanwhile, I was also appearing for other exams like banking exams, and two attempts of RBI were during this time. So actually, in my four attempts, only these two attempts were serious. Earlier two attempts, I was just giving for the sake of it. So
Okay. So, because you were destined to be in RBI, that is why you didn't like crack those defense
yes, sir.
related exams, I think. Okay. So, we'll start with phase one preparation. So, what all sources did you follow for all the subjects: quant, reasoning, English, and general awareness? And you can also give a brief about what has changed over the years in these sections.
Yes, sir. Sir, we will go by subject. Sir, if we get sir, if we take quant and LR, so I was quite strong in these subjects, specifically because I was an engineering graduate. I was preparing for various aptitude tests in my college time. So these subjects were my strong zone. Even after my graduation, I appeared for exams like CDSE and FCAT. There also these subjects were there. So for RBI specifically, I did not have to separately prepare for these two subjects. So whenever exam used to come, I used to just appear for mock tests, analyze the mock test thoroughly, and I was means ready to go for these two subjects. However, for the sake of aspirants, in my opinion, if these two subjects are their strong area, they should just attempt mini mock tests and the full length mock test. Analyze the mock test thoroughly, identify their strengths and weaknesses, and work on those weaknesses. That's it. And for the aspirants who are not good at it, I would recommend them to start from this point only. They may dedicate 1 day a week or at max 2 days a week for these subjects so that over a period of time, means within 6 to 8 months, they should be able to means match the level of serious aspirants who are quite good in these subjects. Because, sir, as you also know, this year, many of the aspirants who were quite good in phase two were not able to clear phase one only because they could not clear the sectional cutoff of quantitative aptitude and logical reasoning. And the major part was that they were not able, in my opinion, they were not able to select the questions properly. Two or three of my friends also were means victim to this thing. They were not able to select the questions that were easier. Instead, they went for tougher questions, and they could not attend those questions in time. They ended up means not clearing prelims. So so this quantum LR becomes a critical part of prelims. As regards sir general awareness, I think following 4 to 6 months of affair scout would be sufficient. because in recent years, at least from 2021, the nature of questions that are asked in the prelims is matching the level of phase 2 questions. Like the questions are lengthy in nature, quite detailed in nature. These type of questions we used to see earlier in phase 2 only, but now they have started to ask these type of questions in phase 1 also. So whatever we will do for phase 2, it will automatically help us in prelims preparation also in the for general awareness. So apart from that, that we will come to later. Specifically following affairs scout for 4 to 6 months thoroughly, I think would be sufficient. And for English, I think reading is the key here, because many aspirants think that if they prepare for grammar, they would be able to score very good marks. But sir, I've observed this the pattern of his exams from last three to 4 years. The key here is understanding of the language and not and not the knowledge of grammar. So if you are able to understand the language properly, if you are able to comprehend what is asked in the question, you would be able to score very high marks in English. Uh, I had a habit of reading newspaper from my college days. I used to read Indian Express, and after I began preparation for RBI, I started to read Business Standard. So this reading newspaper helped me to improve my English, and every time I used to score very good marks in English, objective and prelims. So I would recommend aspirants to focus on reading. They should means actually read at least 1 to 1.5 hours a day. This will not only help for English phase 1 preparation, but also help for their phase 2 preparation, English descriptive preparation. So, and if any aspirant is not able to focus on newspaper initially, they may also read any book of their choice. So, the point being said here is that they should focus on reading more, understanding the language more. That will help them to get means good marks in English. So, I think that should cover all the subjects of prelims. But sir, I would also like to add regarding exam part, because I means as I said earlier, I have seen many heartbreaking stories around me who are not able to clear prelims. So I would recommend aspirants to thoroughly practice at least 10 to 12 full length mock tests before prelims. Analyze the mock test thoroughly, identify their strengths and weaknesses, work on their weaknesses. They should at least dedicate a full month before the exam exclusively for prelims, because prelims is the most important part in the means in this journey. If you are not able to clear prelims, you will not be able to get the experience of phase 2, and your story will get over. So the things like practicing, then giving mock tests, analyzing them thoroughly, then remaining calm, cool, composed during the actual examination is the key here. Selecting the right questions in quantitative aptitude and logical reasoning, and trying to get maximum score through general awareness and English language will be the key to clear prelims.
Okay. So you scored 14.25 in reasoning because it was tough. This time it was very
Yes,
tough
sir.
to score marks. So has been a good score. And in English, as you said, you have scored 24, 25 marks.
Yes, sir.
So, okay. So the key is to read more. It may
Yes,
be
sir.
a newspaper or books or
Yes, sir.
novels for that. Okay. So now let us move towards phase two. So, how did you prepare for ESI, FM, and English? If you can go subject wise, and also
Okay, sir.
objective part and descriptive part.
Fine, sir. Sir, I will start with ESI objective. Sir, I have observed that there are three major parts in ESI objective, that is covering PIB, covering schemes, and covering reports. Out of these three, I have observed that the first two parts, that is PIB and schemes, form the major part of the questions that are asked in the phase two. At least during, I have observed this during 2022 and 2023 men's. So for PIB, I would recommend candidates to go through the actual website. And if they are not able to find that much time, they can always refer to our parent channel. We learn here. Here, all the important links are shared. And even if they are not able to follow this, they may refer to any good coaching compilation. But means I would strongly recommend to follow either we learn here, or would recommend them to actually go to the actual website and make notes out of it. Here I would means for in my case I had studied PIB for about 4 to 6 months. The mistake I did in this case was I made digital notes. That what I used to do was I used to follow the VLearn here channel, the PIB links shared on VLearn here channel. I used to visit the link. I used to copy whatever I thought was of relevance in the exam, and I used to paste in a Word document. So eventually this Word document became so heavy for me that I could not revise it properly. So I would recommend candidates to prepare handwritten notes because we tend to make shorter handwritten notes as compared to digital notes. So PIB part is done. The second part is schemes. For schemes, any good coaching institute compilation would suffice. However, I would recommend here that only those schemes have to be read which are of relevance to our syllabus. For this, I would recommend candidates to internalize the syllabus. What I mean by internalizing is repeatedly means read the syllabus multiple times. They should stick the copy of the syllabus in front of their means study desk so that they are able to continuously means see the topics and continuously study the topics so that they are able to internalize what are the topics and relate the links to those topics. If you follow any coaching compilation scheme document, you means we find many schemes which are not relevant for the exam point of view. So the thing here is filtering. You have to filter the schemes that are important to our preparation. Apart from this, while following PIB also, we come across various schemes. So I would recommend that if you come across any scheme while reading PIB, you should immediately try to read about the scheme either from Google or from any scheme document that you are following. I think for schemes that should suffice. And for reports, I think from last 2 years, I have seen very few questions from reports part. Therefore, it is advisable to follow only flagship reports from national and international organizations of repute. For example, Niti Aayog from India, then World Bank, IMF, International Labour Organization. So the important reports released by these bodies should be read and that too selectively. Apart from this, any major report that comes in newspaper, for example, this year the ASAR survey was released. I think its full form is Education Survey something. So it had come in newspaper. Although the report was released by a private organization, it became important because the issues discussed in the report were quite relevant to our syllabus. So candidates have to be means very means thoughtful while following reports. They should make notes from newspapers, and they can also follow any good report compilation of any coaching institute. But as I said earlier, only flagship reports need to be read, and the major attention has to be given to PIB part and ESI part, PIB part and schemes part, because that is forming a major part of the objective questions. If we come to descriptive part, for ESI, I was part of We Learn Here private group from the beginning, I think from July 2022. What we used to do, means sir used to post a question, we used to answer in the private group. Sir used to evaluate, give feedback. We used to, and we used to try to means improve our answers. So for descriptive writing, I got very much help from We Learn Here uh, private group. As regards means general preparation, I would recommend candidates to means there are ample open sources available for ESI descriptive. They just need to go to Google. They just need to type the specific topic, and they will get a lot of information, a lot of articles on that topic. So I don't think there is any need to follow a specific book. Many toppers means believe that you have to follow this book or that book, but I think there is ample content available freely. Uh, if they are not able to find any relevant article of any topic, they may try to search by adding UPSC to that topic. For example, if our topic is measurement of growth, so you can search measurement of growth plus UPSC. So you will get a lot of articles from Drishti, Byju's, Insights on India. So you can refer to those articles and prepare for that topic. After preparation, you should try to write at least one answer for each topic. That would help you to get into the groove of descriptive writing practice. Here, practice is the key. And as regards, sir, there is a very common question regarding the depth to which one has to study. So for this, I had prepared a thumb rule for myself, and that worked for me. It was I had decided that I should be able to write 600 words on each topic. So for example, a topic is measurement of growth. So I should be able to write 600 words on this topic. If I'm able to write this, I thought that I would be able to write means good answers in actual exam. I think this may be helpful for candidates regarding the depth to which they have to study each topic. Uh, Then we come to finance and management. I think for finance and management, the content provided by EduTap is really helpful. I followed the content thoroughly. And as I said earlier, I was part of the private group. So after reading the topic, we used to write the answer and we used to get the feedback. So it was a cycle of continuously means reading the topic, practicing answer writing, getting the feedback, improving it. So this was my preparation. For candidates, for aspirants in general, I would recommend to follow any coaching institute's notes. And as my experience with EduTap notes is quite good, I would recommend that. And they should, and in this case also, they should try to write at least one answer for each topic. And these answers would eventually be their notes, which they can refer to before their exams. As regards finance and management objective part, I think the major part here is covered by static syllabus of finance and management, and that too, especially management. This year also there were many questions from management, and people have scored a lot of marks. Sir, one of my friend has scored 48.75 in finance and management objective. So he lost only means he I think he had means he has made a mistake in only one question. So he lost only 0.25 marks from that thing. So aspirants have to realize that it's a very scoring subject. Finance and management only helped me to sail through this year. I scored around 75, 76 marks in finance and management, and that helped me to offset the low marks I scored in ESI objective and English descriptive. As regards the very few questions that may be of current affairs related in finance and management objective, they will be asked from finance section. So if aspirants are following Affairs Cloud monthly magazine, they can refer to economy and finance section. If they follow this for 4 to 6 months, I think that should be sufficient. Apart from this, one more topic is RBI notifications. For RBI notifications, again, I would means I read EduTab's monthly magazines, and whenever I thought that this notification is quite important, so I used to search that notification in Google, and from 2 to 4 good articles, I used to make my notes. So this is means I approached the RBI notifications part. Means Affairs Cloud and any good coaching compilation should suffice FM objective and your static syllabus. If we come to English descriptive, there are three parts: essay, précis, and comprehension. For essay writing, again, as we are continuously reading newspapers, as we are continuously preparing for ESI, I don't think there will be problem of content. Enough content would be available with candidates to write a very good essay. And as the topics of essay are usually in use, for example, this year I wrote essay on climate change. So these topics will be the topics that are provided are in use only. So there will be enough content. You just have to frame a good essay. That can be done. Means there are many famous approaches. One of it is a spelt approach, that is SPELT. You have to write about social, political, economic, legal, technical aspect in your essay. Another approach that I followed, means I used to follow sometimes, was initially writing introduction, some catchy introduction, then subsequently writing challenges of the topic, probable solutions, and way forward. So this way they may structure their essays, and this and following any one approach may help them to means quickly think about the topic, quickly frame their essay during the actual exam time. In my opinion, in English, the most scoring topics are précis and comprehension, because in essay you might get less marks. Means I don't know, but in précis and comprehension, I think these two are quite scoring parts of English descriptive. For précis, in my opinion, understanding of the passage is very critical. You have to understand what the author is trying to convey and put that understanding into your own words. If one gives a proper title, a catchy title, if one uses proper, means if one does not repeat the words that are used in the passage, and is able to cover the passage holistically in one's own words, so that would fetch very good marks in tracing, I think. And for this, sir, in case of myself, I had prepared for English descriptive before exam. I think 2 3 months before exam, I had written 2 3 essays, 2 3 precis and 2 3 comprehensions. And after prelims, I practiced 1 essay, 2 3 precis and 2 3 comprehensions. So that's it. For comprehension, uh, means people make a huge mistake by means writing very short answers. Now here comes one rule that I means got to know from one of my friend. He used to tell that comprehension usually comes for 30 marks, and there are at least 5 questions. So each question becomes means equivalent to 6 marks. So one should try to write 8 to 10 words for each mark. So that means for one question, if the question is of 6 marks, so we have to write 6 multiplied by 10, that is 60 words. So around 50 to 60 words we have to write for each answer. Candidates usually do the mistake that they write very short answers, and as a result they tend to get lesser marks. In my 2022 attempt, I made this mistake. I wrote very short answers in comprehension, and as a result I could score only 55 marks, even when the checking was quite liberal last year. As compared to this year, there is a general feeling among candidates that this year the checking was quite strict. And even after writing very good English descriptive paper, I could score only 57.75 marks, and that is quite
Good.
average marks. So, sir, for comprehension, I would recommend candidates to again focus on understanding of the passage. Don't use the words used already in the passage, frame their own sentences, and use and write detailed answers. Now, one more query here is that generally the questions that are asked in the comprehension part are quite specific in nature. Like in the passage, you can find the answer directly. So, what to do in this case? So, I would recommend that if you read the passage carefully, you if you have the holistic understanding of the passage, you can always use the references that have come before the sentences, the references that have come before the topic on which the question has been framed from the passage, references that come henceforth from the topic, from the part of the passage. So, like this, they can build 50 to 60 words. And I think that that should be more than sufficient for comprehension part. So, sir, that's it for English descriptive.
Yeah, and your FM descriptive score has been pretty good, 36 marks. So
Yes, sir.
scoring anything above 13 descriptive, 30, 32 above that is very good. So,
Yes, sir.
okay. So you have already shared, I think, detailed strategy about all the sections. Now it'll be okay. One more question is there. So this year there were questions based on reports, descriptive
Yes,
questions.
sir.
So how to tackle those kind of questions, and if specifically when you are not haven't read about some of the report, and then you have to frame on the answer there itself. So if there is some scenario like this, so how to approach?
Sir, honestly speaking, it was quite a huge surprise this year that there were very detailed and very lengthy questions in ESI descriptive part. The reports had been linked to static syllabus. So my reaction during the exam was I was quite shocked to see such lengthy questions. But then I reminded myself that every person will be facing the same issue. So what can I do for now? Means I was thinking during the exam this thing. What I can do now is that whatever I know about the static part of that syllabus that is asked in the question, whatever I know, I can write about that part, and I would make that part so good that it may eventually cover any shortcoming that may be coming because of not reading the report. So what I did was I tried to holistically cover the static part of the question. I followed our basic IBC approach, intro, body, conclusion approach. I tried to directly address the question in my body part, uh, and I could out of two questions, I think in one of the question the report was this report on currency and finance. So that report I had read. So for that question, I did not find any difficulty. I could link the reports. I think I was able to link the recommendations of the report with the static part. But for that second question, I just wrote about the static part and what was asked in the question about the static part. I focused on that part. And sir, means people may not believe this, but in the 600 words question, that is 15 markers question, In both the questions of ESI descriptive, I was able to write only 425 and 400 words only. I could not reach the recommended 75% word limit, even though I was able to secure 30 marks. But what I did was I ensured that my content is very good. So I think the content here makes the difference and not the words and how many words you write. People usually focus on words. They have to means they think that they have to reach the 600 marks word 600 word mark, but that is not the case. If your content is good, if your approach is fine, you will get good marks. Now, as far as the strategy for next attempt is concerned, I would recommend aspirant to means to follow these major reports. They can see the questions asked this year. So what they can do is they can follow the major reports released by international organizations, Reserve Bank of India, and national organizations. They can means they should make notes out of it, like what is actually told in the report, what are the recommendations of the report, and if any part is means overlapping with our syllabus. So this way, if they make notes of major reports released during this year, they would be able to tackle the questions during the exam. And if in case any surprise comes like this, I would recommend them to be calm, focus on your basics, and I means that surprise will be for everyone. So you just have to do what you can do best. So that should, I think, sir, uh, will suffice for this part, reports part.
Okay, so sticking to the basics is the key here. So you
Yes,
have
sir.
to hold your nerves. The content matters more, and your approach should be the right, which you have been following while practicing the answers. And if you
Yes, sir.
don't know much about the current part, you should stick to the static part. So
Yes, sir.
that is the thing. Okay, and here I am focusing on this approach which Krishna has already told. Spelt. If you come across some questions, so try to cover these five dimensions: social, political, economic, legal, and technology. Technical.
Technology, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Technical technology anyway.
Okay. So yeah. So this it has been a good trick to remember this thing. Now we'll be talking about your interview experience. So it was your first interview, and you have
Yes, sir.
scored
First.
51 marks, which is quite good. So please tell us about your interview experience in short, and then you can tell what things matter more in interview according to you.
Sir, honestly speaking, my interview went very awful, in my opinion. The moment I came out of the interview room, I knew, means I felt that means I will not get selected this year. And honestly speaking, 2 3 days I was means quite depressed because of this thing. Even to the extent that I had already begun preparation for my next attempt. I had already made a list of the learnings that I means learned during this attempt. I had made a list of the mistakes that I did. Means interview was quite awful. But still, if I have to make means I have to review my interview in hindsight. Sir, during interview they asked me questions means majorly on my profile only. I was working in NABARD as development assistant. I was handling disciplinary cases with regard to staff members of NABARD. So they asked me some questions regarding that. They asked me some questions regarding NABARD. Uh, they also asked me to compare the balance sheet of RBI and NABARD, then balance sheet of RBI and commercial bank, and they also asked me some basic technical questions like what is the quality of reserves. Then one question was means uh, so some basic technical questions were there. I'm not able to recall many questions right now, but I would means my observation was that during interview you have to think on your feet. You cannot means think like I am means I'm already prepared well, so I would be able to handle any question. I am prepared for every question. No, that is not the case. The panel members will always be able to frame such a question that you have to think at that moment, at that point. So I would recommend candidates to develop that ability of thinking quickly. Like if suddenly a question is thrown their way, they should be able to at least address that question. Means so the interview part is majorly on basic profile only. So it depends on each person's profile. But if I have to give some recommendations that means like I said earlier, you have to think on your feet. And sir, one more thing, if any candidate is working, I would recommend that you try to take more responsibility because that would help you build your temperament. And in my opinion, temperament matters more than your knowledge in the interview. The panel members will be able to see through your temperament that you have that ability, you have that attitude of taking initiative, taking more responsibility. Sir, as I told that I was working as a development assistant in NABARD, which is a clerical post. So I was going means I had applied for manager's post in RBI. So that is actually a two-step means above my current post. So practically speaking, they should have expected means they might have expected the tendency to accept higher responsibility from me. So I think the approach for working aspirants should be that they should try to take more responsibility at their workplace, and they should means think like an officer. Uh, so in general, these are the basic tips that I have to give. But
Okay.
sir, honestly, I don't know means how the marking was done. I was not means actually I was not expecting 51 marks. I was expecting around 35 to 40 marks, but uh, that is what I have to say.
Okay. So that is how it is. They must have seen something.
Sir, I'm not able to hear your voice.
Okay. So am I audible now?
Hello.
Am I audible? Am I audible now? Okay. So Krishna, I think you should.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes, sir. You are audible now.
Okay. So we'll move forward. Uh, which all which other exams have you appeared for, and has that experience also helped here?
Yes, sir. Sir, as I said earlier, I had appeared for defense exams. So I had appeared for CDFC, that is Combined Defense Service Exam, then AFCAT, Air Force Common Admission Test. So that experience helped me in prelims part, as I said earlier. Some of the subjects like quantitative aptitude and reasoning, logical reasoning were there also in those exams. Apart from this, sir, after 2018 to 2019, I have. So my friends started to suggest me to appear for other exams also. So from 2019 onwards, I began appearing for these exams, like banking exams. So in 2019, I cleared two exams together, SBI PO and NABARD Development Assistant. I joined NABARD Development Assistant, and after that, I was appearing only for defense exams and RBI Grade-B exam. So as far as clearing exams is concerned, I have only cleared defense exams and SBI PO and NABARD Development Assistant. As far as the usefulness of clearing these exams is concerned, I think that yes, sir, there is a major role to play for all my experience that I gained during my earlier preparation. And here, sir, I want to means emphasize the saturation theory that you always tell us about. That if you continuously prepare for various means competitive exams, and if you are dedicatedly pursuing something, eventually a point will come wherein you will be able to means test success simultaneously. So, sir, actually, I can relate to that theory because I was continuously preparing for many exams together. I had failed in 8 attempts of SSB interview, and eventually I got success in RBI Grade-B 2023. So, especially for for repeat aspirants who are repeaters, who may be feeling very low, very depressed that they could not clear this year the exam. So I would recommend them to believe in themselves, believe in the process, because this theory actually works.
Okay. So what was your routine? Because you were working in NABARD while preparing, and time management has been an issue for all the working aspirants. So what do you suggest?
Uh, yes, sir. Sir, as regarding time management, I would recommend working aspirants to focus on their weekends. They should utilize their weekends to the maximum extent possible. As regards my routine is concerned, sir, for weekdays, I had 5 days work week. So during these weekdays, I would come home at around 6:30. Then I would go to gym and I would come back around 9:30. So from 10 to 12:30, I used to study consistently. So I used to study only for 2.5 hours on weekdays. However, I used to then means make up for this lost time during my weekends. I used to study at for around 4 to 5 hours uh, during weekends. So that would miss used to make up for the lost time during weekdays. So I would also recommend aspirants to focus on the weekends, try to cover the major part on weekends, and uh, and even if you are not able to means find time during weekdays, if you are able to consistently study for 2 hours or 2.5 hours, that should be sufficient, because means clearing these exams doesn't require a study like UPSC that you have to study 6 hours a day, 8 hours a day. That is not the case. Consistent study for limited number of time but focused study should suffice, sir, in my opinion.
Okay. So, and it was your fourth attempt. So,
Yes, sir.
what has been no, what has been changed in your approach in this attempt, which helped you
Yes, sir.
in excelling this exam?
Sir, as I said earlier, my earlier two attempts were not that serious. My serious attempts were 2022 and 2023. So, as regards 2022 attempt is concerned, after the scorecard was out, I means I was able to means identify of my weak areas. I scored only 18 marks in ESI descriptive last year. So I got to know that I have means I have to work on this part. I scored only 22 marks in FM objective. So these and 55 marks in English descriptive. So I identified these three areas that I have to work on these three areas specifically. So for ESI descriptive and English descriptive, I practiced a lot. I was part of a WLS private group, so that helped me a lot in improving my descriptive answers. And as regards FM objective, what I did different this year was, after reading a topic, I used to attend the questions, as and I also used to solve quizzes that are provided in EduTax course. For every topic, there are quizzes available in EduTax paid course. So candidates can solve those quizzes. That quizzes can help in means in brushing up their concepts. And sir, one more thing. Last year during my ESI descriptive answers, I means what I did was I used to write I had written answers to the whole word limit. Like for example, if the question was for 600 words, I wrote 600 words, but the content was very poor. I just means I was just beating around the bush. The content was not good. So as I got to know that I have scored only 18 marks. So this year I focused exclusively on content. I ensured that in my answers, even if I'm able to write means in lesser words, I would focus on my content. If my content is good, I will get good marks. So I focus on content and practiced descriptive answer writing consistently. So this thing I did differently this year as compared to last year.
Okay. So, okay. Which has been the best mock test series or something like that, according to you?
Sir, I think for phase one, any mock test between olive board or practice mock should suffice. Last year I had given olive board. This year I had mistaken practice mock tests. Practice mock tests I found were quite par with exam level. So I would please recommend these two tests only for prelims part. Candidates should actually try to solve at least 10 to 12 mocks before prelims, as I said earlier, and they should analyze thoroughly. Only solving the mock test is not means enough. They have to analyze it thoroughly. As regards our phase two, uh, I don't think that there is much relevance for phase two mock test. Instead, what can means aspirants do? They can use a timer to write answers. So this way they will be able to know how many words they can write in a given time period and what quality of content they are able to write during that time period. So instead of appearing for means multiple mock tests for phase two, they should at least means even if one or two tests they appear, it should be sufficient. This year I appeared only for two mock tests for mains. One was conducted by Sir you only during the month of I think March, and one mock test I appeared during means after prelims result were out before mains. But I found only the first mock test very useful. That is our Whelan year mock test. It was quite well before time before means exam. It was conducted in March, and sir, I remember the cutoff for that exam was 169, and I had scored only 148 marks. So, sir, means I have to tell you that the scoring of 148 and not able to clearing the cutoff was a turning point in my preparation. I got to know my weaknesses. I then wholeheartedly started focusing on my weaknesses, practicing thoroughly. I tried to build more content. So, if I had not given that mock test, I don't think I would have taken the mains part seriously. Uh, uh, means after March. So appearing for that mock test and your feedback helped me a lot. Uh, so that's it.
And 169 was the actual cutoff in, I
Yes, sir.
think,
Exactly.
HUS.
Yes.
Okay. So, which other, it can be anything, it can be a coaching source, resource, YouTube, Telegram channel, which you think are best three, four, five things which aspirants should try to follow?
Yes, sir. So the first and foremost is we learn here our Telegram channel and YouTube channel. Uh, so this is the must in my opinion. Apart from this, I think for management static concepts, they can refer to Amit Lal YouTube channel. Because in management there are multiple theories and there is usual tendency of mixing up theories. So if they are able to watch a video, uh, means listen to some audio content, it may be the case that they are able to retain the theory better. During my preparation also, I means after reading the theory from my editor course, I used to listen to that video, watch the video of that particular theory. So especially for theories part, I would recommend that Amit Lal YouTube channel. Apart from this, sir, I followed this Anuj Jindal YouTube channel for PIB 247 during my means before 2 months before men's, because they used to run marathon series for means various subjects of prelims, GK, for quant, for logic. So I followed that. Uh, Apart from this, sir, I'm not able to recollect many sources at this point of time, but I think this should suffice.
Okay. So I'll add on one more source which you told during your when you were telling about phase two prep. So for FM static EduTap notes are also helpful. I think you told.
Yes, sir, retract notes. Yes, sir. Uh, and sir, one more part I would means like to add for the ethics part of management syllabus. I didn't find the edit content useful. Means other parts of the syllabus, the content was quite good, but I was not satisfied with the ethics part. So for so specifically for ethics part, I had referred to means some notes that were available on Telegram. I'm not able to means recollect the exact name of the note, but I would try to share it means with you. Apart from this, I also referred to answers written by V1 year candidates in our private group. So those answers also helped me to build concepts of that topic, of ethics topic. So I would recommend candidates to means research for this topic for some extra sources that are available freely on Telegram. Uh,
Okay. So my final question before we start the discussion round. So what do you suggest your advice to the upcoming aspirants?
Sir, I would give two advices. The first advice is means has a reference to cricket. I'm quite a cricket fan. So the famous advice given by MS Dhoni, that is follow the process. You have to follow the process. You have to love the process. If you follow the process properly, you will eventually get the results. So you have to follow the process thoroughly, every aspect of it. And the second is regarding, sir, family and friends. You have to involve your family and friends in your journey. That helps you means that helps to keep you sane during this means long journey of preparation. I would cite a small example, sir. Just before a day of mains, that is the mains I was in, it was on 30th July. So on 29th July, means I was feeling very nervous that I have means prepared for a year. Will I be able to clear it? Will I be means able to write good answers? Means I was quite nervous. I was not able to focus on my studies. So suddenly I got a text message from one of my good friends. So the message was regarding that you have prepared for almost 1 year dedicatedly and consistently. You just believe in yourself, just be calm and composed, and all the things will fall in place. So this single message helped me calm my nerves. I was able to get back into my zone. I was able to focus on my remaining revision, and I was able to carry that spirit to the actual exam. So the point that I want to make is that you have to make means you have to involve your friends and family in your journey. they will motivate you and they will take care of any frustration or any negative feelings that you may encounter during this journey.
Okay, so keeping your dear ones near you and
Yes, sir.
believing in the process, these has been the keys. Okay, so now let us open the house for question and answer round. So if anyone who is interested will take some of the questions in next 10 to 15 minutes, you can raise your hands and then we'll ask you to unmute yourself. So I think everyone has, okay, Aditi is there. So Aditi, please unmute yourself and you can ask the question.
Hi, Krishna. First of all, congratulations on your achievement.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask one thing about this problem of time management. See, as you said, ki you used to give 2 to 2.5 hours of studies every day consistently. And on weekends, you used to complete your backlogs, etc. So, what I feel, मेरे साथ जो problem होती है वो ये है, you are comfortable with Hindi?
Yes, yes, yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
मेरे साथ जो प्रॉब्लम होती है वो ये है कि किसी दिन मेरा न्यूज़पेपर छूट जाता है, किसी दिन पीआईबी छूट जाता है, किसी दिन आंसर राइटिंग में ज़्यादा टाइम लग गया, किसी दिन आंसर कंप्लीट नहीं हो पा रहा है। मतलब इट्स नॉट दैट आई एम नॉट गिविंग दैट टाइम, 2 to 2.5 आवर्स इतना तो दे ही लेती हूँ। बट कुछ ना कुछ छूट जाता है, कंप्लीट नहीं हो पाता ऑन टाइम, और 2-3 दिन बाद फिर वो पीआईबी का न्यूज़ पढ़ने का मन नहीं करता, वो न्यूज़पेपर आर्टिकल्स पढ़ने का मन नहीं करता, ओल्ड लगने लगता है। So, did it happen with you also?
हाँ ये मतलब एग्जैक्ट सेम चीज मेरे साथ भी हुई थी इन द इनिशियल स्टेज ऑफ माई प्रिपरेशन आई थिंक ड्यूरिंग द मंथ ऑफ जुलाई एंड ऑगस्ट आई मीन्स as I said I was part of this private group, so I had to write answers on time, I had to submit the answers on time. So then after facing this issue means for 2 to 3 weeks I did one thing. I then prioritized what I have to do first. Then I decided that I will read the topic first, I will complete my answer, I will submit my answer, and then I will means focus on other parts. So the other parts of this daily routine may include newspaper and PIB, covering PIB. Now the means as you said कि PIB और newspaper पुराना पढ़ना boring लगता है. So I completely agree with that. But in this case ऐसा कर सकते हैं कि मतलब PIB करें पूरा, और न्यूज़पेपर के लिए वी आर एनीवे फोकसिंग ऑन दिस इज करंट अफेयर्स मैगजीन्स. एंड व्हाट वी कैन डू इज दैट वी लर्न हियर चैनल पे न्यूज़पेपर के भी मतलब क्लिपिंग्स आते हैं, इंपॉर्टेंट क्लिपिंग्स. सो इवन इफ दोज क्लिपिंग्स आर फॉलोड आई थिंक मीन्स द एंटायर न्यूज़पेपर ऑफ दैट वीक वुड बी मीन्स कवर्ड. So during weekends, you can do this thing that you can complete the backlog of your PIB and newspaper by following the Vision Here channel. It would be boring, I agree. But over a period of time, if you get the hold of answer writing quickly, you will be able to means manage your time, and you will be able to finish these things within that 2 to 3 hours a period.
Okay. So any cross questions, Aditi?
No, thank you. This was only my question.
Okay. So next we have Priyanka. Please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Good evening, Atul sir. Good evening, Krishna sir.
Good evening, sir.
Krishna sir, as you mentioned that you used EduTap's notes for finance and management. So my question is, did you make notes out of those summary notes or concept notes, or you were just reading it and highlighting it? What was your approach, sir?
Yes. So I used to refer to content notes on the content sheets. What I used to do was I used to make very short notes out of those topics. So for example, if the topic was, for example, this Maslow's theory of management. So I used to write the definition, what that theory is about, advantages, disadvantages. So in very few words, I used to make notes. The target of making this note was I should be able to write a good answer on that topic with very few words available in my notes. So this was my approach. Like you should be able to means cut short the topic in very few words. In very few words, you make the notes, and if you refer to it later on, you will be means able to anyway get hold of the topic. So short notes should be made out of that content sheets. Otherwise, you will not be able to revise it during your means after prelims or just before mains.
Yes, sir, because they are very lengthy, especially the concept notes.
Yes, yes, they are lengthy, but I would recommend you to please means stick to the syllabus. You see the syllabus, what is there in the syllabus. Then I had mentioned it earlier also. I means I would used to think that I have to write a 600 word answer on this topic. So what
Yes, sir.
all I have to read, I used to stick to that only. I used to means skip the other parts of the content sheet. So if I'm able to get content, so enough content so that I'm able to write a 600 word answer, I would stop there. So
Okay.
filtering is a means an essential part of reading those notes of content sheet of editor.
Okay, sir. So, do you use the same approach for the newspaper clippings and the newspaper, like the newspaper you used to follow? Do you used to make notes of that also?
No, I was not able to means because of paucity of time, I was not able to make notes out of newspaper. But ideally, it should be made. Notes should be made from newspaper also if you have time.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you,
Thank you.
sir.
Okay, thank you. So Diksha is there. Please, Diksha, unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hello, sir. Good
Hello.
evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
So, as far as management topics are concerned, did you cover only those theories which are specifically mentioned in the syllabus, or some extra theories also? As the coaching summary sheets, they contain a lot of theories.
Yes, yes. So there are a lot of other theories also in the content sheets, but I focused exclusively on the theories that were mentioned in the syllabus. Because as I had experience of 2022 mains, I observed that only those theories were asked that were mentioned in the syllabus. So this time I only focused on those theories only. However, in the mains this time, I think I observed one theory. I'm not able to recollect the exact name of the theory that was asked, that was not mentioned in the syllabus. I think sir will be able to take it. Miss Terry, it was regarding leadership theory. Some 2 to 3 questions were on that theory. So I skipped those questions. But apart from this, means most of the questions that are asked in the exam are from those topics which are mentioned in the syllabus. So I would recommend to stick to the syllabus only.
Okay.
Yes.
I am also not able to recall at this point of time वो leadership से
Okay, sir.
related क्या था, but okay.
So, sir,
We have
ideally, what should be done for the next attempts? Can we expect some questions from out of the syllabus, the theories which are not mentioned in the syllabus?
okay.
Uh,
So yes, Krishna.
yes, sir, just a second. I will charge my phone.
So in my opinion,
Sorry,
Diksha,
sir.
you can always no IBPS is famous for unpredictability. तो वो कुछ भी पूछ सकते हैं. But the thing is, we can't cover everything under the sky. So we have to limit ourselves somewhere. So I think sticking to
Absolutely.
the syllabus is the key.
And sir,
Over to
one more
you.
thing is that means I would like to add that means as I said that the leadership theory had come there. Only 3 to 4 questions were there, but means if your basics are covered, like what is leadership, if you have read other theories, by logic you are able to solve at least 1 to 2 questions from that also. So even if some means surprise comes in the exam, if your basics are right, you will be able to solve by logic these questions.
Yes, sir. And so I have one more question regarding essay. In essay, what should ideally be the number of paragraphs? Like if we are writing about challenges and way forward, so should we write all the challenges in one paragraph and the way forward in other, or we should make separate paragraphs for each point?
uh, there is no means any hard and fast rule for this. I think it depends on the content that you are writing. If the challenges are many in number, you can means divide the paragraph in 2 parts. And if the challenges are very few, you can write in a single paragraph also. So I don't think there is hard and fast rule. You can write any number of paragraphs in the essay.
Yes, sir. Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So were we talking about this autocratic, democratic, and laissez-faire leadership styles,
No, sir. These were though I think there in the syllabus.
or Raven's power wala thing?
Yes, sir. This one. I think this was the one. It is not mentioned in the syllabus, and it had come in the exam. So I think 3 4 questions were there, but by logic, I was able to solve 2 questions,
Yes,
and 2 questions I skipped.
because the thing is, referent power, expert power,
Correct. Yes, sir.
and
Ha,
those
correct.
kind of powers are there. So if you read the question, you will be able to solve two or three
Yes, sir.
because management,
Agreed.
yeah, the keyword itself is the thing which signifies the actual meaning. Okay, so anyone else? Okay, so I think we are done with the session, and in the end, I would like to thank Krishna for just agreeing to conduct this session. Thank you,
Thank you, sir.
and
And sir,
again,
one more thing I would,
congratulations.
thank you so much, sir. Sir, I would like to thank you for guiding us for means 1.5 years almost. You guided us for every stage of the exams for prelims, mains, and interview. I would also like to thank our group members of Wheel and Here family, and especially I would take the names of Raj and Kristalina, that is Anmol. They means they evaluated our answers of financial management and gave us feedback. So I have to means be grateful towards them, and I'm grateful towards our Wheel and Here family.
Thank you again, Krishna, and
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
that would be it for today. We'll be conducting more sessions with some of more selected candidates in upcoming days. Thank you so much, Krishna, for coming
Thank you, sir.
today,
Thank you.
and
Thank you, sir.
congratulations once again. See you there.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. Sure.